Yo, gangsters. I think the shot is okay. Hopefully it is. So, at the gym, as you can see. I'm not about to lift it. I'm actually about to go to work right now. But I was just thinking about this, so I wanted to pull out the camera too fizzy. I was thinking about like a past life review. And I don't mean some like, obviously I believe in reincarnation, but I don't mean like some previous life. I mean like who you were as a child, who you were before you identified with the false self, before you were truly programmed. Like I saw a post on Substack yesterday, or a note rather, and it said, the only two opinions that matter are your 8-year-old self and your 80-year-old self. I was like, oh fuck, that's money right there, bro. I'm like, bro, if you can be tapped in with what your 8-year-old self genuinely wanted, you'll be amazing. Like when I really went back and looked, I was like, bro, my 8-year-old self loved to be outside, loved to be creating, always loved to be like active, always loved to be doing shit. This shot probably looked like ass, but I don't really care. Let me. Can't fucking see anything with these glasses on. Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, if you can really be tapped in with your 8-year-old self, it's like those things that you genuinely were allured to, those things that genuinely brought you life, that genuinely brought you like fulfillment as a kid. Like for me, being outside, being in nature, being super active, drawing, dancing, creating, being with music, making videos, sharing, like helping people, like giving advice. That's what I meant. I'm just doing those things now, and I love life. It's like, wow, bro. It's like that just. I feel like this was a big thing I learned, like, when I went back and I was like, bro, this, like, bullshit, I'm shy shit, like, this is bullshit. I was the most charismatic kid ever. I made 3 friends a day when I went to the playground. It's like, bro, I was always him. I was always the mad social kid, bro. That's who I am, you know what I mean? And it's like, I just had this programming, you know, I was identifying with the false self. I'm like, fuck, bro, that was not me. Like, that's not me. It's like, shit. And so many people are genuinely living in alignment with programming, with an identity, with the false self, that they genuinely do think is them, because they've been living at it so long. They've been telling themselves that that's them, but it's not. It's just not you. And it's like, fuck, that sucks. And so I want you to like go back and look at those things that you were allured to as a kid, how you acted when you were a kid. You know, I like to say 3 to 8. I think that's always the range. That's usually before we've gotten too much bullshit programming on us, depending on your circumstances, of course. But go back to those times before you had your, extremely traumatic moments, those things that really shifted your perspective, those things that really shifted how you saw yourself, those things that made you close off, those things that made you wall up. Go back to the times before those and see what you were like. See what you were like when you were fulfilled, when you were happy. What were you doing what things were you doing when you felt like that, right? Those are the things you gotta do right now. Alright, you go to work. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The Kybalion. Alright, gang, I'm not gonna lie. I jacked up here. I thought my autofocus was good. It wasn't. So, yeah, this is about the next 26 minutes are going to be focused on the water bottle and not me. Hopefully that doesn't annoy you too much. Those are the 3 Hermetic axioms on the third Hermetic principle, vibration. What I'm going to read you is from my newsletters I dropped the other day. Jane's Curiosity Chronicles, number 110, or it's called Nothing Rests, the 3 types of movement. I want to talk to you guys about this because the 3 types of movement are core to the Renaissance man, to the holistic approach. The holistic approach has 4 pillars: stillness for the spirit, physical movement, exercise for the body, mental movement, learning for the mind, and spiritual movement, creating for the spirit. We have stillness, which is connecting, that groundedness, connecting with our being, right? The existence, the feminine principle. And then we have becoming, movement, evolution, connecting with our masculine principle. These 4 pillars are core to the human existence. And if you're misaligned with one of them, you're misaligned with your authentic nature. And what do we know here? The law of one, or the law of authenticity, tells us that when we're misaligned with our authentic nature, we suffer. And so, what we need to do is get back into alignment with stillness and with these 3 types of movement. And in this video, and from this letter and in this video, I want to share with you some ways you can do that. So let's get into the letter. Nothing rests. The 3 types of movement. This is Jaden's Curiosity Chronicles, number 110, from February 10th, 2025. Real quick CTA, guys. If you like reading, I'd want to invite you guys to join the Digital Renaissance Creator Substack, where I send daily insights, mindset, mental health, metaphysics, making stuff. I mean, let's get into this. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Think about it. On vibration. The 3 types of movement. The third Hermetic principle, vibration, teaches us that the nature of our universe is constant and unending motion. Everything moves, everything vibrates. Now, to the physical eye, this seems like a bunch of malarkey, right? It's like, I look around and I see things that are quite static, right? However, physics teaches us that things that move so fast only appear static to the visible eye due to our inability to process a speed that quickly. We all know that Earth is constantly moving, right? Rotating not only around the sun, but rotating on its own axis, right? The Earth is always in constant motion, constant. But we have a very little felt experience of this constant motion that Mother Gaia is in, right? Inherently, our experience is still, it is static, right? And this is because we've already been adapted to it. This is because vibration, movement, is our nature. Vibration is a foundational principle of cosmos. Everything moves. This is the true nature of reality, the authentic nature of reality. And so if you're not moving, you're misaligned with the true nature of reality. You're misaligned with your authentic nature. And like I said, when we're misaligned, we suffer, right? Now, when I say movement, I mean the 3 types. 1, physical movement, exercise. 2, mental movement, learning. And 3, spiritual movement, creating, right? Every single day of your life should consist of these 3 aspects of movement in some manifestation. If it doesn't, you most likely feel shitty or lacking in that area. You guys know that I love learning and creating, and those 2 have been huge propellers for my growth. However, recently, I just realized how important physical movement is to me as well. Before I get into that, let me riff off these. Let me spit out about these. Physical movement, moving your body. Mental movement, moving your mind. Spiritual movement, creating, moving your spirit. Now, what I mean by that is, physical movement, that's obvious. That's just moving your body. The thing is, moving our body feels good. I'm going to tell you guys about, my story with moving, physical movement in a bit. So I'll talk about the next 2. Mental movement, learning. Inherently, we need to constantly be expanding our minds, because if we don't, we're going to stay trapped in a limited paradigm, a limited perspective. My goat, Mina Irfan, she says that all beliefs are limited beliefs. It's not that inherently all beliefs are bad or, they trap us, but inherently all beliefs have to be finite and therefore limited. And so once we hit the edge of our beliefs, we start feeling stagnant. And so we have to expand the beliefs. We have to step into the unknown. We have to evolve, right? Evolution it's foundational to cosmos. We have to keep evolving. We have to keep moving. We have to keep growing. This is Eros. Eros is the experience of radical aliveness, moving towards and desiring ever deeper contact and ever greater wholeness. We are Eros. Eros is moving through us. We desire ever deeper contact. We desire ever greater wholeness. This is why we want to connect. This is why we want to feel intimate with people. This is why we want to expand. This is why we want to share ideas. Mental movement, right? Expanding the mind. This is how consciousness evolves. This is how consciousness multiplies. This is how consciousness expands. We express physical movement, right, through our bodies, through moving. We express mental movement by expanding consciousness through learning in the mental plane. And we express spiritual movement through creating, by serving, and by not only having things that, we learn, expand our own, consciousness, but by serving others to expand others as well. It's spiritual because it's for the greater collective. God is the creator. There's nothing more spiritual than creating, right? Physical movement, mental movement, spiritual movement. All right, let's talk about physical movement. I love moving. A couple of weeks ago when I was on the bike reading, I had a thought arise. Why is it so hard for me to sit still and read or listen to an audiobook, yet I can read on the bike or listen to a book while walking, no problem? I've always struggled with having a still body. Shit, I was writing this letter on a walk. Right? I was contemplating for a bit while I was on the bike until my intuition just yelled out the blatantly obvious answer. Hey, bozo. You're Shigagi. You just fucking love moving. Yo, that's so real, right? Give ya. I'm a clown, that's right. I was always the super active, always running around kid. And if it wasn't my body that was active, it was often my mind or my spirit. I was always outside playing around, running around, right? Whether it was actually like running outside, whether it was, listening to music, dancing. Usually those two. I did love sports though as well. I didn't really do too many like on a team, but like at school, always loved playing sports, always loved being super active. Actually, real quick, I'll say today, at work, I was talking to my coworkers, Nick, and he was telling me how he plays volleyball. Like he just does like not like super pro, but he plays like in tournaments and leagues and stuff. And he's telling me like how he's been playing for the last 6 years. He only played basketball. Like basketball was his love, I think, until he said like until he got to like 18 or something. I feel like he said 6 years ago, once he discovered volleyball, he's like, he only plays volleyball. He's like, I haven't even touched a basketball in like 4 years. I was like, yo, that's crazy. But that brought me back to like, fuck, bro, I loved playing volleyball at school, right? Like middle school, high school. I fucking love playing volleyball. That shit was so rocking, bro. And that just kind of like goes back to when the intro video. It's like, what are those things that you love to do? What are those things that you used to do? What are those things that brought genuine love and enjoyment to your life? Those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about here. The exercise, the physical movement, the mental movement, spiritual movement. What things that you love to do as exercise as a child? What kind of things did you like to learn about? What kind of things did you like to create? I need you to start doing those things again. For me, with exercise, it's walking, it's being in nature, it's running around, it's pushing myself physically, but it's also dancing.
Retro J, you so crazy. Every time I come in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator, eating up all the food, all the chicken, all the pickles, all the collard, all the hog maws. I wanna eat some of them chitlins. I love pickles.
Man, fuck it, I'ma just come how I usually come. Look, coming up here with nothing. From a city where niggas was Shrek and cousin. Niggas zero but touch, we always was off. Hey, little nigga, you bought it. I'm talking to the table when it's dumb, and I say shit no money, my nigga, a chest be coming. My wife PG, she be dumb, and I thought. My clock don't let me, you coming. Teachers always said it was a shame. Fuck school, I'm sticking to the game. Real shit, I'm never gon' change. Big coupe, I'm swerving, switching lanes. I saw these niggas get jelly. Big put my dickle in her belly. My side OG, this shit smelly. It's my time, don't be getting ready. I'm winning, they gunning 2 shots in the stomach. That pussy boy living my Glock spray. Won't push of a button, I ain't scared of nothing. I'm walking on talking my cock head. All these niggas my sons, they look right up to me, make a statue, I be the whole Kage. She wanna get serious cause I'm up, but I had to straight double cause I got a white name. Rock, she giving me top, I tell don't stop, her lips got a love. Okay, now rock, she giving me top, I tell don't stop, her lips got a love,
Better put your water on that damn shit. Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator, eating up all the food, all the chicken, all the pig feet, all the collard greens, all the hog maws. I want to eat some of them chitlins. I love pig feet.
Dancing is a huge one. Like today, I want to do some cardio today. And I was just watching a video. I was listening to a Hamza video. And he was talking about like how to make the grind fun. And he was talking and like giving this example of like you know, you can do cardio, you know, for an hour on the treadmill, and that's like, okay, sure. Or you can do cardio, or you're doing CrossFit, or you're training MMA, or, you know, you're outside jogging, and that's lit, right? And I was just thinking, I'm like, yo, there, like, if a certain song comes on, like, there are like a handful of songs that will really, like, if that shit comes on, I'm fucking going crazy to that shit, boy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking like that should be crazy. Like, fucking be going nuts to that, John. And after, I like literally be having like catch my breath. It's like, fuck, like I'll be sweating this shit, bro. That's real. So I'm like, hold up, dog. I gotta start dancing for my cardio, bro. Like, that'd be fucking lit. I'll be like, oh shit, I was getting hype as fuck, right? But like, that's an example, right, of physical movement. It doesn't have to be weightlifting. It doesn't have to be resistance training. It doesn't have to be like running. Do the things that that genuinely are alluring, that are appealing to you. For me, with learning, like, I love learning about philosophy and spirituality. Like, I love to be yesterday I was thinking about this. I was like, you know, I've always been a scientist, and now I've just shifted to the interior sciences, right? Metaphysics and esotericism. But, you know, I grew up in exterior sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, psychology. You know, these were my first loves. And now it's beautiful that I can merge the exterior and the interior sciences. And I can really give people this new perspective, right? As a metaphysicist, as a metapsychologist. What are those things that you love to learn about as a kid? Learn about them ruthlessly. Study them ruthlessly. Even if you don't, you know, even if it doesn't, like, even if you're not going to use it for like your main thing, like your purpose, right? There are tons of things I learn about where it's like, yeah, this doesn't really have much to do with like philosophy, or, you know, I guess kind of everything kind of has to do with philosophy because it's about life. But, you know, I guess I'm a cheater in that sense. But but it's like, it doesn't have to be directly related. Indirect things, or even just things that you just love doing, like, that's worth it. That's worth learning about. Just exploring your curiosity. My newsletter is titled Jaden's Curiosity Chronicles. Why? Because I want it to be about whatever the fuck I want it to be about. You should boundlessly explore your curiosity, because your curiosity is it's a manifestation of desire. It's a manifestation of cosmic desire, cosmic allurement. Like, the thing is, your desire, the things that you have curiosities about, that's actually cosmos signaling to you that you have this attraction. Like, there's this inherent relationship between you two that is charged, and it should be actualized, right? It should be deepened. It should be connected. And the thing is, you've been not embracing that connection, right? Whatever bullshit programming that's been sold to you by your parents or the school system or religious leaders or the media, whatever. Whoever's got you identifying with the false self, not doing the things that your authentic self, your unique self wants to do, those things you love doing from 8 to 38 years old. Whatever has got you not doing those things, that's a reason you're missing out on so much fulfillment, so much joy, so much depth. You're denying your desires because you believe your desires aren't good. You believe, oh, this is stupid. Oh, I can't, you know, make any money with this. Fuck that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck that shit, bro. I need you to follow these things that your heart wants you to do. I need you to. Like, I need you to. Because if you don't, you're going to stay misaligned with your authentic self. And if you're misaligned, you're suffering. It's that simple. Like, the degree that you're misaligned with your authentic self is the degree that you suffer. And so when you start doing more of the things that you love, you start getting in alignment. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do everything all at once, right? Like, a year ago, I wasn't doing all of this shit. A year ago, I wasn't really doing much except learning, right? And then in May, I really started getting consistent with content and with creating, with spiritual movement. And then in June, July, I really started getting consistent with walking, physical movement. Right? And then I kind of did actually have 3 of the movements. Now, I didn't really have a stillness practice as much. I was connecting. I was having like stillness with my walks, unplugged walks, journaling at times, but I didn't have like a dedicated stillness practice like I do now. Like, I wake up every morning, I meditate first thing. You know what I mean? I prioritize that. It is a priority to me. I'm a spiritual teacher. This is my purpose. This is my life. Of course, that's a priority. So I prioritize my stillness before I get into super active, man. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk about that a bit more later. But let's get back into the letter. I started going on a tangent there, but let's get back into the letter. So I was always outside playing and running around as a kid, right? I was always moving. I was always super active. I was constantly on YouTube learning about things that I thought were awesome, whether it was science, whether it was things I wanted to craft, whether it was, just cool things that I wanted to learn about. Just following my curiosities. Like I said, just following my curiosities. I was creating all the time, whether it was drawing, creative writing, making YouTube videos, crafting, building shit with my hands. I was always creating. That was just my life up until I was 10. This is just me. I love to move. So these past couple weeks I've been training. It's been amazing. I mean, there's a little sexy pic of me. Just wanted to put that in there because I'm looking hot. Definitely not sorry. So like I said, I prioritize stillness before my movement, though. I need you guys to understand this is really, really important. Regardless of the 3 types of movement, being still is absolutely a requirement, right? During the digital renaissance, that's the time we live in, we're constantly being bombarded with people and things that want our attention. Attention is the currency of God. It's a quote from Nero. And so we have to remain diligent about where we invest our attention, as it's surely to come back to us. Which is why before I turn into super active man, I prioritize my stillness and connection. I meditate. I connect, right? I be with myself. I do my prayer so I can connect with myself, connect with my source. Then I turn into super active man. Then I do my writing. Then I do my learning. Then I'll go out and do my exercise. You know what I mean? Then I'll do that stuff. The 4 practical pillars of esoteric self-improvement, or the 4 pillars of the holistic approach, same thing, are as follows. Number 1, stillness or connection, to connect with God, yourself, and your deepest truth. Number 2, movement or exercise, right? Physical movement, I mean. Number 3, learning or expanding, mental movement. And number 4 is work or creating, spiritual movement. The order you do 2 to 4, right? The physical, the mental, and the spiritual movement, whichever, like the order you do those things, that doesn't matter. However, I wholeheartedly advocate that you prioritize your stillness practice, wholeheartedly. Your stillness practice can be many things. It could be meditation, it could be prayer, journaling, unplugged walk, stretching, right, where you're just super present, like doing breath work. There's basically anything non-stimulating where you're super present, like where you're really with yourself, you're really with reality. This allows us to connect with our source and with ourselves every day before we start getting super active. Moving from stillness is much more potent than moving from movement. I want you to contemplate that one. When it comes to physical movement, like I said, don't think this has to be something like resistance training or like running outside. It can be any movement that you genuinely enjoy. Walking is still my primary anchor for physical movement, right? Although I've been, getting in the gym recently with resistance training, that's awesome. Like I said, for my cardio, shit, bro, I'm about to make my main cardio dancing. Fuck all the bullshit. I ain't gonna lie. Right? Fuck all the bullshit. Because, like, I want to dance. Like, it's alluring. It's desiring. And so it's like, why would I not do that? If the objective is to be active, why do the thing that is boring where I don't want to do it, where I could just do the thing that I genuinely desire and want to do? It's like, hold up, if I'm going to get the end result anyway of movement, right, of being active, burning calories, zone 2 cardio, whatever the fuck, if I'm going to get that anyway, why not use a vehicle that's enjoyable? Doesn't that make sense? It's like, if you're going to fly to Hawaii, right, or if you're going to travel to Hawaii, are you going to fly there, or are you going to drive there and then take a boat there? It's like, I mean, either one would work, but the first one would be a lot easier, right? It'd be a lot more enjoyable. Now, granted, if you wanted to take the drive and you wanted to, sail there because you genuinely desired it, that'd be another topic. That'd be another discussion. That's desire. You want to do it, right? Most of us don't want to do that. So why do the boring thing that you don't want to do? That's probably going to take more time, more energy, or at least just more mental bandwidth because you don't actually feel allured to it, right? When you could just do the thing that you want to do, where you can be in a flow state, you can be super present, you can actually enjoy life more, and then you'll still get the same result. Pretty crazy. The thing is, you'll actually get a better result because you have more emotion, more positive emotion tied to it. Oh, makes sense if you ask me. Right? When it comes to learning, I feel like you guys kind of got that on lock. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch my content, that means you actually care about learning. You care about educating yourself. Honestly, all I have to say about that is just learn about the things that you want to learn about. Like, just boundlessly chase your curiosity. If your curiosity leads you to something where it's like, this is interesting that I want to do this. I want to learn about this. I don't really know how this is going to serve me. Just do it. Just do it. Just fucking do it. Who cares? Who cares? Let's talk work or creating. Okay? Work isn't optional. I really need you to understand this. Here's a quote from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, Tablet 2. Choose your work, for all souls must labor, and no one can ever be free from the path of light. That quote was actually what inspired me to write this, because I started thinking about how like we all must work, we all have to do things, we all have to like move, right? Because that's foundational. And I started thinking about like, oh wow, movement, vibration, right? And I was like, hold up, there's like 3 types of movement: physical, mental, spiritual. I'm like, wait, this is like the holistic approach. This is like the four pillars of esoteric self. I'm like, holy, I'm kind of fucking cooking right now. Yo, Will, what's good, buddy? How you doing, man? About to get it rocking? I said you about to get it rocking? Let's go. I'm about to get it after this. I'm just doing a full vlog right now. But yeah, like work, labor, creating. This is a foundational principle of Cosmos. We're always expanding. We're always evolving. How? Creating change, like work. The physics definition of work is creating change or making change in an environment. And so work is literally just about making change, whether that's physical change, mental change, spiritual change. Work is just, it's a requirement, right? I was watching Nero's course, Metaphysical Money Manual, and he was talking about how effort is required to make money. Like people think that like you don't need to do something to like make money. It's like in the law of attraction, the manifestation space, people talk about, oh yeah, you can just hold this desire in your mind. You don't actually have to do anything. It's like, what? We're in the physical plane, motherfucker. What do you mean you don't have to do anything? What are you talking about? That's crazy to think. Effort, work, physical things, that you have to do that. Like Nero gave the example of climbing a mountain. It's like if you're climbing a mountain to see a beautiful sunset, it's going to take work. It's going to take effort for you to get up the mountain, right? Like obviously. But it's like your perception is like there's effort and then there's struggle, right? Struggle is the shadow of effort, where there's like a negative connotation to the effort. Inherently, effort is just work. Like work is just work. It only becomes positive or negative once we attach judgment to it, right? It's only perception. You cannot escape work. If you want to create change in your life, what you do, because you want to grow, you want to evolve, you want to materialize your desired reality, you want to achieve your goals, which means you want to make change because obviously you're not there right now. And change is just foundational to life, right? The only constant in life is change. You cannot escape work. You cannot escape labor. You cannot escape creating, because work is how you create change. Okay? Cool. And so you cannot escape it. And your attempt to will only catalyze more suffering. That'll only keep you in a more, a constant negative cycle, because you're trying to escape something that is foundational to reality. Whenever we try to escape things that are foundational to reality, we're misaligned with our authentic nature. We're misaligned with reality, and thus we suffer. We can't do that. We got to get in alignment. We have to act in alignment with the Hermetic principles. Cause and effect, right? That if we want to have an effect, there needs to be a cause for that effect. We need to put in effort to create that change. That's a foundational principle of reality. Okay? Cool. So don't deny work. We have to work in order to contribute to the collective, in order to create change, right? In order to impact the collective, in order to serve, in order to give our gift. We have to work. And so instead of denying work, you find the work that you love to do, and then you just do as much of it as possible. I used to think I hated work. Wrong, very wrong. I hated doing bullshit that I didn't care about for a reason that meant nothing to me, which is totally valid. However, I flippin' love working. I love writing. I love recording. I love teaching. I love speaking. Like coaching. Like, why do you think I'm making this right now? I fucking love vlogging. Like this morning I woke up and I did my reading. I read the Tao Te Ching, and then I went to my meditation. So like recently for my daily disciplines, I just changed it yesterday to where I'm I had been, I'll just say this real quick. I had been going through 2 spiritual texts, Tao Te Ching and A Course in Miracles. I decided to drop the course because I just felt like too much resistance. I found myself lacking a few days on my actual spiritual text because of the course resistance, even though I have like so much desire, so much wanting, like allurement to read the Tao Te Ching. It's like, oh my God, I think about reading the Tao Te Ching. I'm like, ooh, I want to read it right now. I wish I had it with me right now. So I'm like, okay, how about we do this? How about I read the Tao Te Ching right before I meditate, and therefore like anything I get from it, I can meditate on that, I can contemplate that, I can kind of let that marinate in my consciousness, and I can just go into my meditation from there, go into my prayer from there, and then from there, then I get into my working, my creating, my building, my movement, right? And so I'm starting with the stillness, with my philosophical stuff, with my meditation, my stillness, my prayer, my spiritual journey, Then I get into building. I get into my philosophy, my business stuff, my value creator stuff. You know what I mean? So today I woke up, hit my reading, hit my meditation, and then I got into writing. I wrote the issue I dropped today of Metaphysics and Mysticism, essay number 4, which is a metaphysicist's guide, or a metaphysicist's simple guide to mental alchemy. I'm going to be making a talking head video about that on my second channel, Metaphysics and Mysticism. So be hyped for that. That video is going to be titled. Actually, no, I don't have a title for that. I'm tripping. But like I said, like after I did that, I did my writing this morning, and then I edited Road to Renaissance episode 30, and that was fucking awesome. I love doing that. I hadn't edited in like almost like a week, I think. I fucking love editing, bro. It's so fun. Like I love doing that. It was awesome. And I was like, oh, I love creating. I love building. I love working. I love it. You know why? Because it's the things I actually want to do. I enjoy the vehicle of writing, of speaking, mainly writing and speaking. Those are like, I really just enjoy those vehicles. But then I also enjoy what it's for, right? The purpose behind it, the philosophy behind it, right? My mission to help as many people as possible live their most authentic and free lives by helping them understand who they truly are and express who they truly are. That's what I'm about. So if you're new here, I'd appreciate if you drop us up. Join the Digital Renaissance Creators Movement. So, like I said, I flip and love working. I love writing. I love recording. I love speaking, teaching, coaching. So I've aligned my life to those things. Shit, even at my part-time job, right? Even at Planet Fitness, I'm still aligned with things that I love. 50% of my job at Planet Fitness is just being social, talking to people. When they come in, I say what's up. When they leave, I say bye. If anybody comes up and wants help, I help. Just being social, talking to people. The other 50%, just cleaning. That's it. Just cleaning. I just go around, I clean shit. And I genuinely love cleaning, right? It's a huge flow state inducer for me. I'm more in love with life than ever before because I'm constantly moving, right? I'm more in love with life than ever before because I'm constantly moving. I'm in alignment with that evolution. However, I'm not just moving to move. I'm not just striving to strive. I'm moving from stillness. I'm moving from connection. I'm moving from purpose. Once you start doing the same, I guarantee you'll start loving life more. Guarantee it. So I want to give you the action step prompting here. 1, I want you to figure out which pillar, right? So stillness, physical movement, mental movement, spiritual movement, whichever pillar you feel is most lacking in your life at the moment, right? Maybe if you don't exercise as much, obviously, then it's physical movement. Maybe if you haven't been creating, spiritual movement, right? Maybe you don't really have that stillness practice. Stillness. Whichever one for you, right? And if you're lacking on, all 4 of them and you only learn right now, I get it. I was there. But just pick the one that you feel most drawn to, the one that you feel would bring the most return on investment, right? That brings that most, most fulfillment and the most benefit to your life. And then I want you to choose one action or practice that you can cultivate for that pillar. So if it's stillness, it could be stretching or journaling or unplugged walks. If it's physical movement, it could be lifting or walking or dancing, right? If it's mental movement, just whatever you want to learn about. I feel like mental movement is probably the one most of us have unlocked, honestly. And then if it's spiritual movement, however you like to create, right? But I need you to, it has to be building though. Like I need you to build something. Build your mind, right? I made a post about this yesterday, I'll just say this. Build your body, build your mind, build your brand, build your business, build your skills, build your portfolio. Build literally anything. I promise you'll start feeling more fulfilled instantly, like dead ass. Right? So like when it comes to spiritual movement, I want you to build something, right? Of course, like just creating from a place of creating, just flow, feminine, that's awesome. But when it comes to spiritual movement, I want you to channel your masculine here. I want you to create something that genuinely means something to you. I want you to build something, right? And so maybe that's your art portfolio. Maybe that's your business. Maybe that's your brand. Maybe that's your writing. Maybe that's I don't really know what other things. Shit, maybe your spiritual movement, maybe your work is maybe like you're like an athlete and your art is your body. Fair enough. Build your body. You know what I mean? Choose that action or practice and align it with that pillar and then commit to showing up for it for 5 to 10 minutes today. So I want you to pause this, make sure this, you have this done before you finish or before you keep watching the rest of this vlog, all right? If you're watching this, that means you did it. You know which one you're talking. You know which one you're gonna do after you finish watching this video. Don't fucking play with me, all right? Lift time. Turn this last setup.
Why these niggas keep on playing? I might let them know. My bitch got that blonde, super saiyan, gotta let her go. Pour off for these bitches, they be birds, walking pigeon toe. My beam looking red, my BM green, she a hoe. Oh, you think I mean? Okay, cool. Walk up in that store, I'm looking for the green in the bag, put it on the floor. Swerving off the lean, got the wheel, I might let it go. Leave it up to God, grab the wheel, now I'm spinning slow.
Yo, don't bullshit yourself. On that 14th rep, I'm not gonna lie, it was hard, but I knew I had some more in me. I knew I had a few more in me. That was 14, but I'm not gonna lie, I got more in me. And that's why when I finished, I was like, fuck, I can't stop here. I gotta keep going. I had more in me, so I had to give it. When you got more in you, and you know you got it to give, fucking give it. Because if you don't, you're misaligned.
Red rum, look his head going, sing a sad song. Red rum, no you dead wrong, you a dead son. Red rum, screaming red rum, grab that damn gun. Red rum, pussy better run, pussy better run. Crib on that block, masked up, Louis in my lungs. Crib on her up, masked up, cook a nigga, done. Never been no bitch, I'm legit, green all on my thumb. Never been no bitch, with the fifth up, niggas run. Red rum, niggas go insane, cause I'm bringing pain. Niggas be confused, cause they heard that I'll be a lame. Find out for yourself, like a night, leave a nigga slain. Find out for yourself, bitch I'm it, catch me if you can. Get up, boom, boom, boom. Swipe Kirko bangs, I miss on the guns. I ain't making to him through these chains. I was gonna slide, for my fame, I might kill the gang. Red rum, killing second nature, murder middle name.
All right, so I said I was going to dance for my cardio today, but it's 8 o'clock and it's kind of dark outside. So I'm just gonna hop on a bike. I want to read the Kybalion, so I'm gonna hop on a bike. I'm gonna read the Kybalion. I'll probably end up going hard at the end of the bike, but if I don't, if I just chill and I just read, that's cool. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna ball out. All right, so we're reading the Kybalion, and I want to close this out with this. So I just started reading chapter 2 of the Kybalion, which is on the 7 Hermetic Principles, and it kind of just gives a brief explanation of each one. I want to read you guys what it has to say about Principle 1, the principle of mentalism. Principle 1, the principle of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. This principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that the all, or God, which is the substantial reality underlying known under the, which is the substantial reality underlying all the outward manifestations and appearances which we know under the terms of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses, is spirit, right? The all is in all, right? All material manifestations are merely a manifestation of spirit. Spirit in and of itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as an universal, infinite living mind. It also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation of the all, subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe, as a whole, in its parts or units, has its existence in the mind of the all, in which mind we live and move and have our being. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention, in which, without such explanation, are non-understandable and defy scientific treatment. This is something like the observer effect. Why the fuck, when physicists, you can go ahead, bro. Why? Yeah, you don't want to be? No, you say no. Okay. Yeah, you're all good, buddy. Yeah, like in quantum physics, the observer effect. Why is it the case that when we go to observe, if light is either a wave or a particle, when we go in with the attention to see a wave, we see a wave. When we go in with the attention to see a particle, we see a particle. Why? The observer effect. Why? The law of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental. Our entire universe is mental. We're going to get to that later. So, an understanding of this great Hermetic principle of mentalism enables the individual to readily grasp the laws of the mental universe and to apply the same to his well-being and advancement. The Hermetic student is enabled to apply intelligently the great mental laws instead of using them in a haphazard manner. With the master key in his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. This principle explains the true nature of energy, power, and matter, and why and how all of these are subordinate to the mastery of mind. One of the old Hermetic masters wrote long ago, "He who grasps the truth of the mental nature of the universe is well advanced on the path to mastery." And these words are as true today as the time they were first written. Without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. When I read that last part, and these words are as true today as the time they were first written, without this master key, mastery is impossible, and the student knocks in vain at the many doors of the temple. I think that without understanding this principle of mentalism, that without understanding that inherently the spiritual plane and the mental planes, right, the inner world, create the outer world. If you can't understand that the outer plane, or the outer world, that the physical plane is an effect of the mind, of the mental plane, of the spiritual plane, of the inner world, this external reality is effect. This physical plane is an effect of the mental plane, of the spiritual plane, of the inner world. I like to say that, so there's the mirror principle, right? The mirror principle says that our external reality is a reflection of our internal reality. But the thing is, there's a delay on our external reality. I like to give the analogy of like when you walk in front of a mirror. Let's say you walked in front of a mirror, but it didn't reflect back to you until 5 seconds later. It's like, wait, what the fuck? That's what our external reality is. It's a laggy-ass reflection of our internal reality, of our inner state. And so, if we don't understand that our external reality is a delayed effect of our internal state, we'll never be able to truly change our external reality if we don't understand that we have to go within first to change it. We have to go to the within because that's where the cause is. The cause is here in the mental plane. The cause is here inside of us. The cause is not in this physical reality. Although we have to do things in this physical reality is the effect, it's the plane of cause, of effect. The mental plane, the mind, that is where everything starts. I want you to think about this. If the universe is entirely mental, that must mean that the only limitations we have are mental. And thus, your mindset, your limited beliefs, those are the only things holding you back. So, hey, if you want to, conquer those limited beliefs, I have a guide called Mental Alchemy 101. You should check that out. Second one is good. But if you can truly grasp the mental nature of the universe, you can understand that by going within, by shifting your own mentality, by shifting your beliefs, you can shift your reality. If you don't know that, you'll be stuck knocking, doing nothing. All right, I'm gonna finish out this workout, and have a good rest of my day. Catch y'all, gang. All right, do it today. Be better for it tomorrow. Stay blessed. Stay loving. Peace. Okay, so I wanted to speak to you guys about the principle of polarity, because this is actually really important in terms of mental alchemy. So since I talked about the guide, I was like, okay, this just makes sense. So, principle 4, principle of polarity. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. extremes meet, all truths are but half truths, all paradoxes may be reconciled. Goodbye now. These are the Hermetic axioms. This principle embodies the truth. This principle embodies the truth that everything is dual, everything has two poles, everything has its pair of opposites, all of which were old Hermetic axioms. It explains that old paradoxes that have perplexed so many, which have been stated as follows: thesis and antithesis are identical in nature, but different in degree. Opposites are the same, differing only in degree. That pairs of opposites may be reconciled. Extremes meet. Everything is and isn't at the same time. All truths are but half truths. Every truth is half false. There are two sides to everything. Etc., etc., etc. It explains that in everything, there are two poles, or opposite aspects, and that opposites are really only the two extremes of the same thing, with many varying degrees between them. To illustrate, heat and cold, consisting merely of degrees of the same thing. Look at your thermometer and see if you can discover where heat terminates and cold begins. That's foolish. There is no such thing as absolute heat or absolute cold. The two terms heat and cold simply indicate varying degrees of the same thing, and that same thing, which manifests as heat and cold, is merely a form, variety, and rate of vibration. So heat and cold are simply the two poles of which we call heat. And the phenomena attendant thereupon are manifestations of the principle of polarity. The same principle manifests in the case of light and darkness, which are the same thing, the difference consisting of varied degrees between the two poles of the phenomena. Where does darkness leave off and light begin? What is the difference between large and small, between hard and soft, between black and white, between sharp and dull, between noise and quiet, between high and low, between positive and negative? The principle of polarity explains these paradoxes, and no other principle can supersede it. The same principle operates on the mental plane. Let us take a radical and extreme example, that of love and hate. Two mental states apparently totally different, and yet there are degrees of hate and degrees of love, and a middle point in which we use the terms like or dislike, which shade into each other so gradually that sometimes we are at a loss to know whether we like or dislike or neither. And all are simply degrees of the same thing. It's all about a relationship, a connection with somebody, right? And all are simply degrees of the same thing, as you will see, will you but think a moment, right? So if you really sit here and contemplate this, you will understand that this is just true. And more than this, and considered of more importance by the Hermeticists, it is possible to change the vibrations of hate to the vibrations of love in one's own mind and in the mind of others. Many of you who read these lines have had personal experiences of the involuntary rapid transition from love to hate, and the reverse, in your own case and that of others. And you will therefore realize the possibility of this being accomplished by the use of the will, by means of the Hermetic formulas. Good and evil are but the poles of the same thing, and the Hermetists understand that the art of transmuting evil into good by means of application of the principle of polarity. In short, the art of polarization becomes a phase of mental alchemy, known and practiced by the ancient and modern Hermetic masters. An understanding of this principle will enable one to change his own polarity, as well as that of others, if he will devote the time and study necessary to master the art. And that's basically what I've been doing. I basically devoted my life to the principle of polarity, to mental alchemy, to helping people shift their perception. Earlier when I was talking about like those limited beliefs and how you need to shift. The thing is let's talk about polarity and vibration in terms of spirit or infinite living mind and matter. Matter is just like, think of ice and water, or steam and water. Steam and ice. Steam and ice are both water, or it's the same essence, it's just a different manifestation. Ice is frozen, and steam is gas, right? I want you to think of consciousness very similar. Consciousness you can't touch, you can't hold consciousness or spirit, or the infinite living mind. But it is there. And once it gets frozen, it materializes into reality, into matter. The only difference between the material world and the mental world is the rate of vibration. That's it. This material world is much denser. It's much denser. That's it. We can manipulate this material world with our mentality. And if you can master the art of mental alchemy, or if you can at least start wielding it, you can do crazy things. The Kybalion says that you will therefore realize the possibility of this being accomplished by the use of the will. Your intention, your masculine will is how you shift your mentality. I wrote a guide about this today if you guys want to check it out in James Curiosity Chronicles. But the art of transmutation is all a game of perception. If you can shift from this happened to me to this happened for me, if you can see, how did I grow from this? How could this have benefited me? What could I have gained from this? Right? What lesson did I learn that served me? What thing can I implement that, is for my highest benefit? What got reflected into me? What got revealed into me that I'm grateful for? Right? When we can find gratitude, when we can find lessons in our hard experiences, in our pain, that's when we transmute them to purpose. Because it didn't just happen to us. It happened for our growth, for our highest evolution. And if you can start using that pain to help others, you'll start doing crazy shit. Trust me. That's what I do. The principle of polarity, mental alchemy, is foundational to my philosophy. And so, if you've been following me and you're like, yo, this guy Jaden is out here living life. This guy is fucking loving life. I wanna do that. It's only because I've learned the skill, the art of reframing the narrative, the art of mental alchemy. And I teach you it in my guide, Mental Alchemy 101. So if you're interested, check out that link in the description. Come join the Data Center Circle. That's my paid Substack subscription. That's how you can actually get the guide. I want to see you there, all right? Yo, gang, quickie update. So I've actually decided, I still have Mental Alchemy 101 for sale on my Substack as a paid sub, but since I know people aren't really into monthly subscriptions like that, I just actually started up a new school community. So it'll be a lifetime one-time purchase. You can currently come in, since I'm currently creating my 2-hour Renaissance Creator Framework, how to become a Renaissance man with 2 hours per day, my philosophy and productivity system for how to practically become a Renaissance creator, right? With just 2 hours per day, right? I'm cooking that up. That guide is going to be in the school as well. So you're going to be getting everything in the school for $55 right now if you join. That's the 50% off presale. But once I release the 2-hour creator framework or the 2-hour Renaissance creator framework, it'll be going up to $111. So if you guys want the framework, if you guys want Mental Alchemy 101, I also have my Blocked to Boundless Creativity course, how to unblock your unlimited creativity. All 3 of those guides are currently available for $55 right now. Cop that right now. You also get a bonus 45-minute onboarding call with me. We hop on spontaneous group calls whenever I want to throw them in there. If you guys want to learn the skill of mental alchemy, reframing the narrative, and you want to start genuinely living the holistic approach, come join the Digital Renaissance Creators, all right? That's the first link in the description. Do it today. Be better for it tomorrow. Stay blessed. Stay loved. Catch up. Thumbs up. Yo, gang, I just gotta say, if y'all have never hyped on a hydro massage, y'all gotta try one of those, bro. I just did that bitch for 20 minutes. That shit was money.